Hello, I'm Randy Davenport, and this is my wife Elizabeth Davenport, and together we are Red Life Ministries. Huh?
Um, I'm Elizabeth, and I know Randy already said that, but I'm just here to share my testimony with whoever might just listen and be encouraged by Jesus. I came into faith when I was 24 years old to Christ, and that process of coming into faith, um, as a child, I grew up in a home where there was a lot of dysfunction. There was a lot of fighting in the family home. And so my safe place, I excelled in school. And in school, I did well in my grades and everything. And I always enjoyed having a reprieve from home life, going to school. And my father didn't really like for us to have very many curricular activities, but my mom fought for us as much as she could. And I wanted to be on track team. And so she pretty much said, we want to do this. We want to let her do this. And so I had only been on my second track team in school. I was 12 years old. And second time, and I was walking home. A person asked for directions, and I told them how to get there. And I got so close to the car that I was abducted. And at that point, some really terrible things happened to me. And as a result of that, I started a drug usage. A lot of the kids at school had known from the news and the newspaper that I was the one that was abducted. And so when I got back to school, my school was not my safe place anymore. I could just hear all the whispers, and the way that I felt about myself was just really, really discouraging. I felt like a zero, like I was nothing, damaged goods. And so as a result of that, I started smoking pot and drinking beer, gatewaying with both of those just to kind of be numb. And from that point on, from 12 years old to 24 years old, I became a drug addict. And when I say a drug addict, anything that I could get my hands on, I was now being an IV user. And I lived my life being mainly just in the ozone. I just lived to be numb. Now, there are some things that happened to me up to this point at 24 years old. I had been to a party. I had passed out at the steering wheel of the car because it had been raided by the police, and everybody was getting in their car as fast as they could. And as I got in my car and started to drive, I ended up being at my mom's home, which I didn't live with my mom, and I was 24 years old. And but I ended up being in her spare bedroom. She didn't know how I got into her house, but the morning I woke up, being in her spare bedroom, I heard a voice speak to me. And this voice said, "I brought you home last night." And when I heard that voice, I rationalized to myself that I'd probably done too many drugs, too much alcohol, and I've lost my mind. And so I was getting ready to do the same old thing, just a dark, empty life, a different day. And as I was leaving the place and on the highway, I was still kind of hungover, but I wasn't yet messed up. So I'm going down the highway, and I hear this voice again speak to me and say, "I brought you home last night." Well, now I became very afraid, because not only had I heard the voice speak to me, I saw a vision of myself collapsed over the steering wheel of my car. And I thought, I'm probably not going to survive what I'm about to do tonight. Somewhere in this city where I live, which happened to be Kansas City, it was Sunday. I said, there's got to be a church open, and I'm just going to go into this church, any church that's open, and I'm going to be safe, and I'm not going to party tonight. So it was kind of a superstitious thing, like if you're in a sanctuary, you're like safe or something. But nevertheless, this is what I did. When I got to this church, it was an inner city church, and it was full of people. And I sat and I slithered in on the back row. Didn't want to be real obvious because the church service it was already in progress, and it was actually basically almost at a close. But as I sat down there, I could feel the devil talking to me. And he was saying, this is for them people here, but not for someone like you. And I got in agreement with the devil, and I thought, that's probably right. I'm just going to go on my way and leave. And as I got ready to get up and leave, the pastor said these words: someone the devil's lied to. He's told them that they've gone so far that God can't reach them. And I thought to myself, he's reading my mail. How does he know that? And at that exact moment, this woman came from the second row. She couldn't have seen me. She came all the way straight down the aisle, and she came over to me. And I thought she was probably making a beeline for the bathroom, but she was making a beeline for me. And she just asked me so sweetly, she said, would you like to pray? And I thought, sure. I thought I wasn't offended at prayer. I had grown up in a church where I did a lot of Our Fathers and Hail Marys, but I didn't know Jesus. But I wasn't offended at the word prayer. And some people in that faith may know the Lord, but I wasn't one of them. And when she said that, I walked up forward. I said, God, I don't know, and I don't even think I said it with words. I just thought it. I said, God, I don't know why you're talking to me. I'm really afraid. But if it's true what that pastor said, if I give you my life, that you'll take it, I said, you can have it. And as soon as I said that, I was sure he would not take me up on my offer. But that's exactly what he wanted. Now, I didn't see it, but I felt the manifested presence of a living God. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I got the best shot I ever got. It was a booster shot of renewed hope. And I knew by his manifested presence and liquid love, God's liquid love was flowing to me and through me and for me. And I knew that I was not the same junkie I was when I walked into the building. Now, that's been over 30 years ago that Jesus set me free. But the best news is he's kept me free. He keeps me free from desires that are wrong for me. He keeps me free from fear because he's a God who continues to save his people. Now, I'd like to encourage you. There's nothing really fancy about my testimony or story except for the fact that it's my testimony. I'm just a junkie. I was just a junkie, just someone that had bad things happen in their life and turned to other things, just like a lot of other people have done, trying to fill that hole or that hurt on the inside of us when we are fractured so badly and broken. But when Jesus came in, everything changed. And my life has been sweeter because of his presence. Not problem-free, but he's a God who is with me. Emmanuel, just like one young man that said in Leavenworth prison, all of them were praying for certain things, whether it was for their family's provision or jobs when they got out. All sorts of prayer and supplication was going on by different inmates that were there. But in the room, this one young man said, Jesus, I can do life if I know you're with me. And we all thought about that. And isn't it true? Whether you're in a prison cell or on the outside of prison or near a loved one by their deathbed, or you're going through something hard in your own life, we can all do life because Jesus is with us. Amen?
Amen.